Digital's Executive Editor Kartikeya Sharma. We are here to discuss the scene in Karnataka, which is now heating up again. The Chief Minister BS Yediyurappa is trying to rally his support among his caste base, the Lingayats. He was in Delhi last week to rally support with the central leadership of BJP. He met the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Home Minister Amit Shah and also the BJP party chief JP Nadda. Speculation is rife that he may have to make way for another candidate for the chief ministership by the end of this month or early next month. Kartikeya, what's happening in Karnataka?
See, Karnataka is, to go by the political vocabulary, is the wet state of the South India in the sense because it's a rich state. It's going for elections. There's a leadership crisis in Bharatiya Janata Party, and also the state of Karnataka, has a lot of controversy to go by. For example, now the whole state unit of the Congress is riled with this Pegasus controversy that phones of Siddaramaiah and people close to D.K. Shiv Kumar and people who were part and parcel of security, they were tapped or they were potentially tapped because they were part of that Pegasus NSO list. So, there's a lot of commotion in the state politically. But what has happened in context of Yediyurappa is he's perhaps the last of the BJP lot where chief ministers made a difference in terms of where they stood in sort of vote bank they commanded.
He's serving his fourth term as the chief minister.
He's serving his fourth term, and Yediyurappa commands the vote of the Lingayats. And last time when he was expelled from the party, he actually not only divided the vote of Bharatiya Janata Party, it fell by 10%.
Yes.
And he walked away with a chunk of 12% of the state votes. So it's a worrisome situation. Now what is happening is, I would say it's a bit of a political show off in terms of a bargain he would like to draw. He knows that his inning is coming to an end. So I think that's sort of a bargain ploy. The picture which our audience is, having a look at the back, which is our the BG,
that's right.
Or the photographs which we have put as a backdrop, is the sort of a show of strength he is doing, that this is the Lingayat support he has, and the Lingayat support galvanized Bharatiya Janata Party because Gaudas were with the Congress and Kumaraswamy's party. The Gaudas voted for BJP, but substantial vote came from the Lingayats. Now by releasing this photograph, I think it's a pressure tactic whereby he would like his son to be accommodated, people close to him accommodated, so that he can have an honorable exit. So I think the Karnataka, the political churning has begun for both Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress.
And do you think in this scenario the Congress would fancy its chances?
I would say that the Congress should not fancy its chances because, this government is not based on the principle of simple majority. It was a fractured assembly. Yeah. First Kumaraswamy and Congress came together. Then a lot of defections took place. Roshan Beg and other people went out. Right. And then this government came into being. And then the mandate is also very much fractured. If Congress feels that they can fish in troubled water, then how would they reconcile the Gaudas with the Lingayats or the other backward caste politics and the extremely backward caste politics which Siddaramaiah did? Yes. So it's a complex state, and plus the press conference which is happening today in the next, I would say, half an hour or so, in which the whole BJP is going to charged with being that they tapped the phones of the Congress state leaders, and the government fell, and that is how Yediyurappa came back. So it's creating some space for Yediyurappa. It's also closing doors for Yediyurappa. Closing of the door is that he understands that they might need a fresh face as the chief minister. BJP would like another Amrinder Singh in Karnataka, but he also understands with this controversy going on, perhaps they would need him a little more. You said 3 months, maybe 4 months.
But Kartikeya, this whole thing about Pegasus is still in the realms of uncertainty. Nobody knows whose phone was really tapped. These are only names in a list which may or may not have been tapped.
Oh, absolutely. You are right. And, as part of this program, we are not vouching for the fact that this has happened. This is based on the fact that the Congress is organizing press conference throughout India. Now, one is being held in Delhi.
To put pressure on the central government.
To put pressure on the central government. But coming back to the story, which is Yediyurappa, I would say that he belongs to pre-Narendra Modi generation. And I think going away of Yediyurappa will be a passage of a generation. From Karnataka, Anant Kumar is not there, if you passed away. Yes. Now Yediyurappa has to go from here. Other senior leaders have been retired.
So I was about to ask you, who are the people in BJP who would actually replace Yediyurappa if he were to make way for
That's
another
$1 million question.
candidate?
That's $1 million question because I think here for the first time, BL Santosh, the secretary who has been loaned from RSS to Bharatiya Janata Party for organization will have a say, because BL Santosh is from Karnataka, and most important of all, the CEO of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, or to say the man who runs the RSS as a de facto leader, Dattatreya Hosbole, is also from Karnataka, North Karnataka. So I think this time around, RSS is going to have a say. You might have a younger candidate, but a very low profile candidate, something which happened in Himachal Pradesh and something which happened in Uttarakhand.
Yes,
something
there
which
is
happened
the accent is on the younger leadership now.
in
BJP.
2015 in Haryana, when Khattar went on to become the Chief Minister. So I would say that he will come from that blue blood RSS stock.
But tell me, this whole fashionism that is happening in Karnataka BJP at the moment, this does not bode well for the party, even though the next assembly election is only due in 2023. And if the leadership change takes place now, the new incumbent will have about 2 years to mend the government and the performance of BJP. Do you think it's likely that BJP would probably go into this election in 2 years' time very, very confident that they can actually repeat the performance?
See, I'll be surprised that they will be going for this election under a chief minister who will be 80 years then. Mr. Yediyurappa will be 80 years.
But he will not go easily.
He will not go easily, so that his sons need to be accommodated, or his family or his coterie needs to be accommodated. This is very, very clear. And it's that accommodation the Prime Minister has done. A lot of Congress leaders who had joined him, you know, they retired and then their sons went on to become the MPs.
Yes.
So that sort of a compromise Bharatiya Janata Party, or the political equilibrium, Bharatiya Janata Party has found. But the reason why Karnataka is important is because Karnataka is the first South Indian state which Bharatiya Janata Party won when Arun Jaitley was General Secretary in charge of Karnataka in 2007. And apart from Karnataka, Bharatiya Janata Party has not been able to find success anywhere.
Except in Pondicherry this
except
time,
in Pondicherry as an alliance. So if you look at Kerala, nothing happened. Tamil Nadu, nothing happened. Jagan Mohan Reddy ran away with Andhra. Telangana Rashtra Samiti with hegemony rules Telangana. So Karnataka is the only South India footprint. You know, if they lose that South India footprint, you can technically say that, you know, BJP is not in South India. It's as simple as that. I'm not being unfair to them, but for them to lose South India is not like losing UP, but it's like that. It's like that little prestige product you have with you. It's like losing that prestige product.
So Karnataka basically plays around with three political parties: BJP, Congress, and JDS. JDS is the joker. Either side they side with is more likely to form a government. How do you see the leadership in JDS reacting to the political developments at the moment?
JDS is a completely dynasty-run party. You know, it's a father and son party. It's around Tumkur, which is South Karnataka area. But I would say that JDS last time was not able to get all the Gowda votes. They got a lot of Gowda votes, but they did not get all the Gowda votes, in the sense that they did not do very well in North Karnataka. So I think it ultimately depends on whether it's going to be a three-way fight or it's going to be an alliance. But I think if the Congress is smart enough, then they're going to fight it alone, or they can mess it like Assam, whereby they they created an alliance in a state where they came to power 3 times just because they felt they might be out of power again. So it entirely depends on the vision of the leader.
Thank you, Karthik, for all the information. Things are hotting up in Karnataka once again, and continue to watch TV9 Digital, because we will keep you abreast of all the developments that happen in that state in South India where BJP is in power at the moment, the only South Indian state where BJP is in power. Thank you for being with us today. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.